Former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard lays into the Biden administration. Let's take a look. This little annual event held by conservatives was held in Phoenix Convention Center over the past few days. Let's take a look at what this woman has to say. Boy, she lays into them too.
And participated in it. I didn't see very many of my Democrat colleagues there. And so later on, I went and talked to them and I asked them, like, hey, this was really cool. I was stoked to be a part of this. Did you not get the email? The answer I got was quite condescending. They said, Tulsi, we know you're new here. You don't really quite get how this place works. We don't participate in that because that's a right-wing Republican thing. I was not only shocked, but pretty disheartened and saddened by that response. But now as we look at their actions year after year and escalating, especially over these last few years, what they said is actually borne fruit. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the vision that our founders had for this country. They are so blinded by their hunger, this insatiable hunger for power, that they are putting their selfish interests above everything else. And they are launching this all-out assault on our God-given rights and freedoms.
So what she's talking about there is, it looks like where they celebrate them being elected and they swear, swear to uphold the laws of the United States and read the Constitution. And she was so glad to be there, but none of her Democrat colleagues that had been elected to the office showed up. They saying it was a right-wing thing, so they don't even participate. Can you imagine that? Let's continue. There's a few more short videos, man. This one was great. There's a few other things that she has to say.
During President Biden's inauguration speech, he promised to bring our country together, to be a president for all Americans, no matter who they voted for. And he promised to get us closer to peace. He has done the exact opposite on all fronts. He has torn our country apart, targeting anyone who didn't vote for him or dares to challenge his administration. He's racializing everything, turning Americans against each other, and putting us in a position where the world is on fire. We are on the brink of multiple wars and closer to nuclear catastrophe than ever before.
Okay, so the Democrats are good at this now. They can tear the world apart. I mean, they can tear this country apart. What, Civil War? Rip the country basically in half. Civil rights, rip the country in half. That ridiculous Trump-Russia collusion investigation, which is the most expensive investigation in FBI history, tore the country apart. Now with Biden is doing it again with all these 100 charges against Trump. This, pitting Christians and against the Democrats, and all this Palestinians and Israel division. Man, Tracy's good. Let's continue. She got a couple more clips here. Let's go ahead forward with this.
These are just a few reasons why I left the Democratic Party. I could no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness. The party that I joined over 20 years ago, which was once a party that largely stood up for free speech, that stood up for working people in this country, that stood up for civil liberties, is gone. The bottom line is this: a political party that is actively undermining our constitutional freedoms cannot be trusted, and we, the people, cannot allow them to remain in power. The most egregious example of all that demonstrates how far they are willing to go to undermine the rule of law and our democracy is in the continuous assault and weaponization of the Department of Justice and law enforcement to go after President Biden's major political opponent in this election year. They are doing all that they can, and Special Counsel Smith has made this clear, to try to either throw President Trump in jail or do what it takes to prevent we, the American people, from having the choice ourselves to decide who we want to be our president and commander-in-chief. This is the kind of thing that we hear about happening in banana republics. This is not the kind of thing that we, the people, should accept as a new norm in our country.
That he outlined in his incredibly long and difficult to read op-ed, along with things that Liz Cheney are saying. They're warning us of Trump's reelection being a dictatorship, and where he will do all of these things like turn the Department of Justice against political opponents, use the IRS to go after those who oppose his agenda. The list goes on. The thing is, that's exactly what the Biden-Harris administration is doing against President Donald Trump and against those they view as their political opponents. But the thing that really bothered me the most about Kagan's op-ed and many others who continue to warn the country that Donald Trump is going to be like a modern-day Hitler is that they are also the kinds of people who, and we hear this all the time, people say, gosh, if back in the day, if only one person had the courage to stop Hitler, to take him out before he rose to power, then we would have saved millions of lives. Well, this is what they're essentially, this is a message
they're inviting violence. Tulsi, you're saying they're inviting someone to take a shot at Trump.
This is what is so dangerous, is they're sending a message to a rogue actor, a lone wolf, saying, hey, we need someone to save our country from this modern-day Hitler-like person. And that is what should alarm every single American. This is not how the United States of America is. This is not who we are, and yet this is what these people in positions of power are doing in abusing their power and undermining our democracy, because in their minds, the end justifies the means. That he outlined in his...
Man, I love a common sense woman. Anybody know if she's single or not? Let me see if I can find her number. Shoot, I'll wind down and tell her she's fine all night long. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you.